Welcome on into another episode of Prop 5. Today we are breaking down the MLB slate for June 29th here. As always, I am joined by Austin Dobbins. Austin, how are you today?
I'm pretty good. How are you?
I'm doing all right, man. And before we get into it, I do just want to remind everyone to use promo code 5. It's going to be FIVE. Get $50 instantly when you create your first $5 lineup on Prize Picks. And I'm just going to go ahead and get right into it. It is a pretty loaded slate here for a Sunday afternoon matinee baseball. Austin, what do you got today on your first pick?
Yeah, so I'm going to go to the Bronx and go with Aaron Judge. I know he's been cold as of late, but yesterday he started barreling the ball up. I know he went 0 for 3, but he had 200-mile-an-hour flyouts. The weather's warming up in New York. It's 90 degrees out there today, and the wind's blowing out to that short portion right field. They even dropped his fantasy score to 8.5, 2 RBI double. Obviously, the home run gets you there. I would go with his hitter fantasy score as my first play of the day. If you're feeling lucky, go for his home run. That short porch should be open today, especially against Severino. He hasn't had great success against them. And it looks like we lost Eric. So let's see this.
Sorry about that. My
You're good.
connection just completely went out there for a second. Put this, or let's just go ahead and throw this up there. We are live, folks. That is the beauty of being live here. It's the first time I've just been outright kicked out. That's weird. But go ahead. You were talking about Judge and the homer.
Yeah, you're good. But Severino hasn't had good success against his former team, and the Yankees can't afford to lose a series to the Oakland or the Athletics. So I'd roll with Aaron Judge today.
All right. So Aaron Judge is your first pick of the day. For me, I am going to go with Ranger Suarez. And you can see the 5.5 strikeout number is very popular for Suarez. And I think that's for good reason today. He's gone over this number in 3 straight starts. But additionally, he's playing the Braves, who against lefties just have not had much success whatsoever this season. I think this is a game where Ranger Suarez, one of the hottest pitchers in baseball, just dazzles again. I think you go 7, 8 innings, 6, 7 strikeouts. I think this one goes over here for Suarez. Austin, your second play of the day?
Yeah, so I'm going to go over to Chicago, where the Giants are facing the White Sox in another rubber match. The White Sox won 1-0 yesterday. And once again, another team that cannot afford to lose a series to a struggling team. The Giants just came off getting swept by the Marlins, who we'll talk about later. And now they have the potential to drop 2 series in a row to 2 of the worst teams in baseball. So I'm going to roll with Justin Verlander. His regular line is at 5 strikeouts. And if you're playing 5, you might as well play 5.5. You can bump it up to the Demon line, and you get like an extra 0.5% in your payout. Verlander, veteran arm. White Sox like to strike out a lot, and there's been 0 offense in this series. There's been a combined 5 runs for the first 2 games, and the White Sox have 2 runs, and they still have managed to win a game against the Giants. This is the perfect game for him to get back on track. He's 0-5 so far this year as a Giant, but against this struggling White Sox lineup, I expect him to dominate.
So from a former Tigers ace, I'm going to go to the current Tigers ace in Tariq Skubal, and I'm going to go with not pitcher fantasy score. I'm going to go with outs at 18.5 versus Minnesota. He's averaged 20 over his last 5 starts. This is a guy that continually goes deep into games, and then on top of that, I don't think that this is a very good Minnesota Twins lineup, nor have they had a lot of success against Skubal to this point in his career. So I like him to go over that 18.5 outs number tonight versus the Twins. And Austin, your next pick.
I'm going to roll with the one that got me over the hump the other day. I'm going to go right back to Brandon Lau. Once again, another rubber match here. I think a lot of these teams cannot afford to lose these games, and they need their all-stars or potential all-stars, in this case in Brandon Lau, to help them get over the hump. For the Orioles, is Dean Kramer on the mound. He is not a very good pitcher. That's the easiest way to put it. Brandon Lau has good success off of him. He's 5 for 11 with a homer, and he's only struck out twice. So he puts the ball in play off him, and Lau's looking to extend his hitting streak to 15 games. So I look for him to help keep propelling the Rays to possibly overtake the Yankees today, I believe. They are a half game back. So the Rays could be first place in the AL East after today.
Definitely a surprising development for anyone coming into this season. For my last general MLB pick, I'm going to go with Jack Leiter today. He's a guy that's kind of had a rough go of it to this point in his major league stint, and I think it's going to get a little bit rougher against the Seattle Mariners. Over 4.5 hits allowed today. I think, he's still trying to find his footing at the MLB level, and this is a good Mariners line.
It looks like we'll wait for Eric a second again if he joins back. If not, I'll take over the rest of this.
Yeah, Jack Leiter. All right. You know what? Cool. That's just how my internet's going to be. Awesome. What's your last pick there?
All right, I'm gonna roll us. I'll roll us into this. So just in case we lose you again. The Miami Marlins. They have won 6 games in a row. They have the longest win streak in the MLB, and they are suddenly being talked about, which is not often. And we're gonna lose Eric again. So I'll just finish this off. The Marlins look for their second consecutive sweep today against the Diamondbacks. Once again, the Diamondbacks can't really afford to lose this game. They sit at 500 now. And we have a matchup of 2 not very good pitchers in a series that's already been loaded with offense. There's been over 30-plus runs in this series already. And I'm going to go with Augustin Ramirez, fantasy score. They have him at 5.5. And against Eduardo Rodriguez, a guy who loves to throw with a fastball. And over the last 2 series where the Marlins have now the chance for a second consecutive sweep, he's been on fire. Against the Giants, he hit a home run. He was 2 for 4, 3 for 5 one game. And then we seen his game yesterday against the D-backs where he hit the eventual winning single in extras. So I like Augustin Ramirez against Eduardo Rodriguez today.
Yeah, and I like the guy that he scored on that game-winning hit, Otto Lopez, 5.5 fantasy score. I'm going to get out of here before I get kicked out again. Thank you guys so much for watching. Use promo code 5 for those $50 in bonus funds when you create your first $5 lineup. All right.